Hello and welcome back to another video. I know I have not talked to y'all in a long time. I'm so sorry. I am genuinely upset I have not been able to make videos at all. Like, not at all, but not many videos this season. I wish I could. I wish I got to speak about the SEC championship, the awards, the Heisman. I wish I got to talk about it all, but I had some stuff happen and I just couldn't talk about it. But national championship game happened last night, and Alabama are your 2020 to 2021 national champions. Roll Tide, roll! It finally feels good to be able to celebrate a championship win on the channel, even though I wasn't as active this season. It feels great. It does feel great. Let's go over the game. This game wasn't as competitive as I thought it would be. I predicted 45 to 38. If you watch the little 2-second video I put out before the game, I predicted 45-38. It was a blowout. And it wasn't like that at first. It was not like that at first. The game was very competitive. It was 14-14. Mac Jones fumbled, and then Ohio State ran it in, and Ohio State was looking good, and they drove down the field, had to settle for 3, but then Alabama just took over. The talent level just showed. The coaching showed. It reminded me a lot of the Georgia game, except Ohio State never led in this one, but they were tied up. It reminded me a lot of that one. It was real close going into the half. This one, we tore away right before halftime. But anyways, the Georgia game was close going into the half. Alabama versus Georgia earlier this season, and then in the second half, Alabama just tore away from Georgia. And this is what this game reminded me of. Dominance. I just want to say thank you to a lot of the players who just played their last game, and offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian, who is going to Texas to be their head coach. I'm sorry I couldn't make a video on that either. So congratulations to Steve Sarkisian as well. And happy for him. He coached an incredible game. Just incredible. And it was likely the last time we see Mac Jones, the Heisman finalist, Davey O'Brien award winner Mac Jones, the national champion Mac Jones, had a lot of doubters coming into the season. I doubted him at once, and then the more I thought about it in the offseason, the more I realized he was our guy. He proved them all wrong. They said he can't lead Bama to a title, and he did it. It's probably also the last game we saw Najee Harris play. I remember when he was a recruit coming in, the number 1 running back in the nation. Talking about him for years, and he had an incredible season this year that will go not as noticed as it should be because of Devonta and Mac and what they did. But he had an incredible season also. I mean, 30 total touchdowns, the only non-quarterback SEC player to ever do that. That's insane. I believe he had right around over 1,500 yards total on the season. That was incredible. Plus, he had that hurdle versus Notre Dame. He's had a lot of memorable moments at Bama. The catch versus South Carolina last year comes to mind. That was insane. He's just incredible. Done a lot for Alabama. Sad that was probably his last game. Devonta Smith, definitely his last game. He was incredible, and that's an understatement. I don't know how to put in words how amazing Devonta Smith was last night. In the first half alone, he set the record, or tied the record for most receptions in a national championship game, I do believe, with 12. And he had 215 receiving yards. 215 receiving yards just in the first half, and 3 receiving touchdowns. He absolutely torched them, and that's why he's the Heisman winner. Should have been the Heisman. I agreed with him winning the Heisman. In my mind, I thought he should have won it, that LSU game. And from on there really changed my mind. And I'm glad he did, and he showed why last night. He was incredible. That's probably his last game. Devonta Smith, in my opinion, I will make a separate video on this, but Devonta Smith is the greatest college football receiver to ever play. Or he's had the best career out of any. I'll just gloss over it real quick. I'll save a lot of it for the video, but two-time national championship game-winning catch, Heisman, Biletnikoff, multiple SEC records. It's just freaking insane. And I'm just so glad for Devonta. He's an amazing player. Who else? Jalen Waddle. Oh my God, Jalen Waddle. He should not have been on that field last night. In all honesty, he was limping. He was not 100%, but he wanted to go out there, and to even touch the field last night showed his incredible grit. I think I almost teared up when he was out there. That was incredible that he was even out there, and he converted a key third down too. Ended up with about 3 catches for 34 yards, I do believe was the stat line. He was incredible. That was probably his last game. Even though he didn't do much, it was just insane. So happy for him. Who else? Alex Leatherwood. That was probably his last game. He won the Outland Award for the best interior lineman, or the best lineman, or something like that. Offensive tackle, which I don't think is an interior lineman technically, but I don't know. But he's been amazing for us. I've always called him one of our best offensive linemen, and he has been really, really, really good for us. He should go in the first round, early second round. I think he'll do really good for the SEC team that drafts him. Also, Landon Dickerson, haven't got to talk about this, who went down in the Florida game towards ACL. The fact that he was even suited up and walking out there was amazing. And the fact he actually took the last 2 snaps was even more incredible. That was amazing. And that was just a feel-good moment. That was incredible. So happy for him. He's one of my favorite players. I don't know if you follow Landon Dickerson that closely, if you're a non-Bama fan, but he's amazing. He's such a funny dude. The team loves him. The team just absolutely loves him. You can see it, how they reacted when he came in the game, when he went down. And he's a funny dude, just always on the sideline or always doing a little dance. Or he's just an amazing player. One of my favorite players. That was probably his last game. And he won the Remington Award for the best center in football this year. That's something else. Amazing, his last game. Patrick Surtain, that was probably his last game. He's projected to be a top 10 pick. I remember when he came on campus for the first time and everything. He's been really, really good for us. A lockdown corner. Lockdown. Just like, reminds me of his dad. Dad was a Hall of Famer for the Miami Dolphins, and he's just like him, or just like him in the sense that he's really, really good. That was his last game. I'm glad he got a national championship because he hadn't had one yet. Just so many people's last game, and I'm so happy they were with the Crimson Tide, and they ended up winning this national championship for us. So, roll Tide roll, and I'll get to this. I can't believe I haven't got to this yet. Sorry if you hear my dog barking in the background, but Saban wins his 7th ring. His 7th. I didn't bring that up before, although all of you watching know this. Putting him past the Bear for the most national championships by a coach ever. 6 of them won at Bama. And he's just an amazing coach, and I'm glad I got to see some of it during my lifetime. I hope he... I was so afraid he's going to retire right after this game, and I mean, that's still a possibility, but let's hope not. But he's just an amazing coach, and in my opinion, I could go into depth on this, but he is the greatest college football coach of all time, easily. Paul Bear Bryant, amazing coach. I mean, Paul Bear Bryant made Alabama football. He made them Alabama. But Nick Saban, in my opinion, is just the greatest. The GOAT. And he won his 7th last night. That it just goes to show. And I think it's in perfect fashion and adds to the argument for him being the greatest all time. The fact he did it during a COVID season, had all this going on, didn't even know if we were going to play. Also haven't brought that up either. We didn't even know if we were going to play at the beginning of the season. We had the we want to play movement going on. We had cancellations and then uncancellations. Some teams didn't play till November, and it was a whole mess. But Nick Saban and Alabama took on the challenge and prevailed, and they're the national champions. Roll Tide, roll. I can't wait for next season already. Counting down the days till the Miami game next season. Counting down the days till A-Day. I got all my gear. I might do a video on that on my second channel. By the way, if you want to see my face and me right after the game, go to my second channel, which is the same name as this one, just with a 2 after it, Landon Almighty 2. To see my face right after the game. And I just don't know what to say. Just so happy. Sorry I couldn't put out videos this season. But we are the national champions. Roll Tide, roll.